Are your PC components starting to run a little warmer than you'd like? Then it's time to cool things down with some fresh new fans. And in today's video, we'll go over the top cooling options that'll breathe new life into your system. We'll look at everything from budget picks that pack a punch all the way up to premium fans with wow factor lighting and turbine-like airflow. Let's jump right into it. First, we have the Scythe Kaze Flex 120 PWM. Right off the bat, you can tell it's aiming for a lower price tag compared to some other brands. The packaging it comes in is pretty basic and doesn't have that premium feel you get from containers like Noctua uses. So, to be fair to Scythe, it is selling the Kaze Flex for pretty cheap. And once it's inside your PC case, you won't notice the cheaper plastic so much. For the cost, this fan actually does a pretty good job moving air through your system. At 1200 RPM, the Kaze Flex moves more air in than some of the competition does at 1400 or even 1600 RPM. Part of that is because it has 11 fan blades compared to the usual 9 that most use. More blades allow it to push more air through. The trade-off is that with all that air moving, it does create a bit more noise than you'd expect. But Scythe designed it so the max RPM is only 1200, so the noise never gets too loud, unlike some that have higher RPMs. So if you're on a tight budget but still want decent cooling performance, this Kaze Flex could be a good option. It works well for the price and leaves you with some extra cash compared to some other brands. Plus, it's one less fan using RGB lighting if you prefer a simpler look. The new Corsair iCUE Link QX120 RGB fans catch anyone's eye as some of the coolest RGB fans out there right now. They're stunning, vibrant, and it couldn't be any easier to get them synced up and looking great inside your PC. The fans use a snap-on mounting system, so they're super easy to install. And you can hook up as many as you want to the included iCUE Link system hub with just one cable to each fan, which is pretty neat. The system hub requires a spare PCIe 6-pin connection from the PSU. That shouldn't be an issue for most modular, reasonably powerful PSUs, but it could be a bit problematic if your PSU has fixed cabling and few connectors. It also asks for a free USB 2.0 header. With that sorted, you use one of the uniform iCUE Link cables to run to the first fan in the chain, and from there, any other fans or cables connected are powered and hooked up to the iCUE hub and, by extension, the iCUE app. Once installed, there are tons of lighting options in the iCUE software to customize them however you want. Things like static colors, patterns, or more complex animated effects. I really like how smooth the lighting looks, diffused through the fan blades too. It just looks way better than individual LEDs in my opinion. The QX120 isn't only a pretty face, it also performs exceptionally well. It can spin up super fast to 2400 RPM, but surprisingly doesn't get too loud doing it. Even at higher speeds, it stays pretty quiet compared to other high performers on our list. Hands down, some of the coolest RGB fans out there right now, if you ask me. Great looks and performance for your money with these. Now, if the iCUE QX120 seems too pricey for you, NZXT offers a more affordable option for RGB fans in the NZXT F120 RGB Duo. There are a few different kits you can get, including some more basic non-RGB F120 core fans if you want to save some money. But the Duo version is still a lot cheaper than some of the higher-end ones from other brands. What you get in the box depends on the kit you purchase, but the most popular is the 3-fan pack that also comes with an RGB controller. That'd be enough lighting to cover the front of a mid-tower case or the front and back of a smaller case. One thing to note is that each fan uses 2 cables, one for the RGB and the other to connect to a 4-pin system fan header. So they do take some cable management compared to some others, but you're also paying less for these. The RGB on the F120 Duo looks really nice though, with bright colors shining through the cutouts on both sides of the fan blades. So you're definitely paying partly for the good looks. Performance-wise, they're just okay, a bit louder, and push less air generally than fans from Corsair or Noctua on our list. So if lighting is the main priority, these could work well without totally breaking the bank compared to the most expensive options. And they'll still keep temperatures under control. Definitely a decent fallback option, cheaper than Corsair's iCUE Link. Now, against a backdrop of RGB LED fans that are often the main selling point, the frill-free styling of the Thermaltake Toughfan 12 Turbo makes for a refreshing change. These aren't your average run-of-the-mill case fans. They're high-static pressure fans, ideal for use with radiators and pushing air through grills and confined spaces. So if you're upgrading your CPU cooler or want fans for more demanding uses than just case airflow, these could be a great pick. Well, they do cost more than your average case fan, but you're also getting some strong specs like PWM control up to 2500 RPM, 3.78 millimeter of water pressure, and 72 CFM of air moving. This is a pretty impressive performance, especially considering how quiet they can be. 28.1 decibels to be precise, even at max speed. You can also opt for the regular non-turbo model, which is just a bit cheaper. The main difference is it only goes up to 2000 RPM, so it's a little less air-moving ability, but runs even quieter for it. So either one would work well depending on your budget and cooling needs. As a whole, if you need fans for heavy-duty radiator or restriction use, these Toughfan 12 turbos are nice options that perform great without all the frills. And we have saved the best PC fans for last in Noctua NF-A12x25 PWM. If you're looking for a top-tier 120mm model that can move a lot of air, the awkwardly named NF-A12x25 blows away the competition. This thing really pulls its weight, moving tons of air even through the most cramped and restrictive computer builds. You can get the classic Noctua tan and brown look, or go for an all-black version if that fits your aesthetic better. But the performance is the same either way. What makes it stand out is how darn quiet it is. It gives out 59.2 CFM airflow at just 18.1 decibels, even when it's spinning up to 2000 RPM. While most fans get really loud once they hit around 1200 RPM, the fan stays impressively hushed up, so you can crank it up to keep your rig cool without having to shout over the noise. And it's a great all-rounder that you can use as both a case fan or stuck on a radiator with great effect. And Noctua packs in tons of extras. You get a nice long extension cable, a Y-splitter, so you can run 2 fans off one header, and a bunch of rubber mounts to stop any vibrations. The price is up there, but when you consider the performance, the silence, and all the handy add-ons, I think it's money well spent. Thanks for sticking around. If you're looking for more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button on the channel. And don't forget to click the bell icon too, so you'll get notified every time we drop a new video at FlexiViews.